So what'd you think overall? Like, I mean, I liked it. There's parts I didn't like. I thought the best part of it was the music and sort of the
Yeah. The
tone.
tone was
The
fantastic.
tone it set with some of the set pieces and production designs it had. The weakest part would be some of the plot and the pacing. I would say the pacing was pretty bad as well. But overall, I quite liked it. I thought you were gonna like it quite a bit because it was so like weird and there's just like weird
Well,
stuff
so
happening.
I had this kind of experience with it. I enjoyed a lot of the experience of watching it. Like I said, except for like I don't like movies, and I don't have a better way to describe this because I don't think I have the technical knowledge. I don't like movies where the action feels really heavy. Like this is one of the reasons I don't really like Michael Bay. Is that like a movie like Con Air, that's Michael Bay, right? Those types of movies,
Connor's amazing.
the action is so, like, mind-numbingly loud and stupid, and, like, it's so heavy. Like, it doesn't feel light. Like, when I watch a James Cameron movie, when I watch a Steven Spielberg movie, like, people like John Woo, I mean, obviously, I think Jackie Chan is, like, maybe the greatest example of this. The way it's shot, the way it's edited, the way the performances are done, it just moves. It's like
Mhm.
it's very fluid, right? And I feel like there are other types of action movies that are so, like, loud and plotting and clumsily shot and edited and, like, no real good sense of pacing and, like, what is the drama within the action sequence? Like, what is the narrative of the scene? What is the geography of it even? Like, I had no fucking idea where in this apartment I was while she was being chased by
Yeah.
this robot, right? And there's no build of, like there's a scene where she finds out that the robot has an infrared vision thing, and so she rips all the shit out of her fridge and gets in the fridge hoping it won't be able to see her because 'cause she'll be cool and her temperature won't show up, right? That could be like a whole 2 to 3 minute thing where she's like, "Fuck, it's infrared," and then she looks at her fridge, she's like, "I need to get in the fridge," and, like,
But also that doesn't make any sense at all if you think about it,
it doesn't need to though,
right?
but, like
Because wouldn't she show up even more? Because she'd be way warmer
well, I
inside
think
the
her idea
fridge.
is eventually I will cool down,
And
and then
not
yeah.
instantly, it would
Yeah.
take like hours. And in the meantime, it would be cold all around her in a big red spot of where she is.
I didn't even think about that. But, like, if you're trying to create drama, right? You introduce an obstacle, you show a way around that
Yeah.
obstacle, you show how things could go right, how things could go wrong. You create this sense of, like, you're hopeful it will go right, you're fearful it will go wrong. You show the character going towards it. There was no organic, like, meaningful build and tension in the action sequences.
Mhm.
So that whole, like, last 20 minutes, I just found to be, like, really like cumbersome and difficult to get through. The first 45 minutes to an hour I thought was fantastic.
The fight and the between the her and the robot and then Moses and the robot, it lasts for a long time. And, like, they're beating the hell out of this thing, and I'm like, "He doesn't look that tough." It's just like he put himself together, but, like, you should probably be like, they shoot this thing a ton.
And isn't it on like wheels and shit? And like
I think it's, like, on a track or
it
something.
supposedly
It's not a
has
humanoid like in Terminator.
right, and it does say in the section where the guy's reading the manual that it has like additional limbs that it can employ if necessary, but like there's never a moment where it feels like there's a genuine threat from this thing where you couldn't just like, other than the fact that she's trapped in the apartment, it doesn't feel like she can't get away from.
Yeah, Runaway. It's slow moving, it doesn't have a gun, it doesn't shoot.
Right, so
Maybe that's just because
just
it
like
didn't have anything in
stay behind it, and then
yeah.
as it pivots to turn, just keep walking behind it.
Yeah,
Like,
or hack it or something, I don't know. But, I think also you don't really see the robot that much or a wide of it because
I would imagine because they didn't have the money to
yeah,
like, yeah.
that's the money. And I mean, that's the beauty of, like, when you're doing Terminator and Arnold's, like, your robot, it's just a person actor
Right.
who you say is a Terminator, and you at the end, you show
Once, or like,
once
yeah.
because it's crappy
And there's a scene where he does
done.
surgery on his eye or whatever.
Yeah, like, you show it very little, and otherwise you and then he puts glasses on so you don't have to show it anymore.
Right. But then,
Yeah.
like, even, like, I really can't overemphasize how much the apartment section made me think of Alien, and, like, the xenomorph is way
Especially towards the end of Alien when
cooler
she's
and
on the
scarier.
spaceship,
Yeah, exactly.
when she's flying away.
So then how would you if you're gonna assess this movie
I
'cause like I
would
said,
rate
like
this with films like I wouldn't rate this against, like, Terminator or Aliens because that's not a fair comparison. I would rate this against films like Nemesis, Chopping Mall, any of these kind of B movies that are not soft core movies, but are actual movies, just low budget B movies. And if so, like, I told you Nemesis, I'd give like a 7 or something. I don't know what my perfect 10 out of 10 would be for those
But
kind
you
of
don't think
films.
it's fair to make Terminator the 10?
I mean, if
Nemesis
we
being
did
a 7 compared to Terminator as a 10?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fair. I mean, let's say Terminator would be a 10 in this kind of low budget film type thing. And then Nemesis, I give
Or what
like a
about like
7.
wasn't Upgrade like only 5 million?
Yeah, Upgrade was about 5 million.
So what would you compare?
I mean, Upgrade was amazing. I
Well,
loved
I know
Upgrade.
if I would get if you're talking about low budget sci-fi movies, I would give Upgrade a 10
Yeah, like
compared to this.
if we're talking
where
about low budget sci-fi movies, like Upgrade would be like a 10. I would
Terminator would
give,
be a 10
yeah,
or an 11.
and I would give this like 6
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe 6, 6.5.
because I did like a lot of parts of it, and I could see the technical capabilities of the people involved, and I did like the music, and I thought some of the kills were cool, and I thought the fat perv was
Love the
amazing.
her.
It's my new hero. Him and Buffalo Bill, my new heroes.
Buffalo Bill's not your new hero. He's
No,
been
he's
your hero
already
for a
there.
long time. But I mean, the thing
What
with
would
me
you,
is
what would
like,
you rate it?
well, it's hard because it's like I said, the experience of watching it.
Just as a whole, as a film,
I really enjoyed
like if someone came up to you and was
but
like,
like if I'm taking it apart after I watched it, I find a lot of holes in it.
yeah,
So I would give it like a 6 or 6.5, like same thing probably.
yeah, yeah. I mean, usually most of the films we watch, we kind of have the same reaction to. Like, there hasn't been a lot that you like, I love and you hated, or you love and I hated.
Yeah.
I think you actually liked You People more than I did. I hated that.
You hated that movie. I thought
hated
some of it was pretty funny.
I hated it.
I mean, it obviously it didn't look good,
No,
but
this looked way better than You People, and had 1/80th of the budget.
it looked way better.
Yeah.
I did.
It was dark though. I will say a lot of it was really dark. Like, I wish they threw some lights in there just to brighten things
But I
up.
thought that was like the aesthetic.
It could be the aesthetic, or they kept it dark so you don't.
So
see
you
a lot.
can't see anything.
Yeah, to hide a lot of the production design elements,
Um,
which is smart. I mean, like, look, I've made films and you've made films and you've shot things and I've shot things, and when you don't have the money, like, it sucks. Like, you want to do all these things. You want to have this robot flying around and doing all this crazy shit. You want to do it. You just don't have the money. So instead of being like, oh man, now I'm gonna have to rewrite my script and take this out, and I really like that. Instead, you're like, all right, how can we hide some of these things that we can't afford to show? Like, how do we?
just have a movie that takes place where the lights are out.
Yeah.
You
Or-
just hear
or
noises.
Or make it part of your aesthetic, or whatever, right? And that's
Would
just
you
what
watch
have
a
to do.
movie that was literally just black and people talking, or would you just listen
No.
to a radio play?
So that's just a podcast, or a right.
But
Or
what if
any
at the very
audio.
end the lights turn on
No.
and you just see a bunch of naked people in an orgy?
No. I wouldn't watch that. Why would I watch that? I would just
Hey,
fast
wait,
forward to the end.
No, there's a bunch of naked people in an orgy.
Go to the very
and
end.
then off to the side, there's the fat guy from this movie telling the story of the movie.
I would listen to that. I wouldn't watch it. I'd listen to it.